Welcome back to the Pistons Jack YouTube channel. On today's episode, we were joined by Bryce Simon of Motor City Hoops to preview the season of fan favorite Ron Holland and everything he could have in store for us in a really exciting season. This was a lot of fun, so enjoy. Let's jump to another Piston, which I don't know if the Delta phrase works here for Ron Holland, but
the Delta phrase definitely works for Ron Holland, I think.
Like, Ron Holland might have the most ranging kind of ceiling to floor on the team, and so a lot of it is because he's so young and only just completed the rookie season. But I don't even think I need to reel off Ron's stats from last year, but I think his rookie season with the role he had was not impressive, might be a bit too far, but he did better than I expected and become a fan favorite. What did you see from Ron in his rookie season?
Yeah, I would agree. So I think if I want to start real quickly negative, I didn't think the jumper was going to be that bad. I know that there was concern about it and all of that, but I would not have guessed he was at 24% from three. That shooting form looks better than 24% to me. We all saw it at Summer League. It looked even more fluid. Obviously, he made shots at Summer League, and that was really encouraging to see, really exciting to see. I think the biggest thing I took away, and the more I'm around this now, Jack, the more I get into different things and areas of this game at the NBA level, not everybody is confident the way you would think. You know, you look at 300 plus NBA guys and you're like, oh yeah, or whatever it is. And it's like, oh yeah, all of these guys, supreme 400 and something. Supreme confidence, never wavers. That is not the truth, Jack. That is not the truth. And I felt like we saw from Ron Holland a level of confidence that was just insane. Even between missing shots and missing game-winning free throws and whatever else he went through, the confidence never wavered, and I think that's huge for a young player in this league.
I love that you brought this up because I couldn't agree. I hate to sound like I'm agreeing with you on everything, but I think I don't have sources or anything, but the closer I've just gotten to, doing this and you talk to people, it's like character, mindset, confidence. That's something I didn't used to factor in as much back when I just was purely only watch the games. And like, the more you get into this, like, I think that's why Ron is such an intriguing player because the confidence does not waver. I want to say it was within his first 10 to 15 games. He missed those 2 free throws but man, it doesn't waver and he'll keep shooting threes. Like, I feel like at the start of last season, he was really getting them up. And I remember like on the post game streams, I'd be like, oh, Ron needs to dial it back. And he did, but I agree. Like the jumper, there's something there. It's not like a SAR, not to put a SAR down, but a SAR's looks a lot more mechanical and like you can tell they're really tweaking with it. Whereas Ron's is like, there's always been a fluidity to it. So I guess maybe I want to ask you about what did you see from him on the defensive end? Because I think he has a really good motor, but like I said earlier, like I don't have the best eye for this stuff. I thought he had some good moments, but what was he like as a rookie defensively?
Yeah, I think for a rookie, it was solid. It was good because a lot of rookies coming into the league are just flat out not good on the defensive end. It is harder than what people think. I'm kind of like you. I really get frustrated when I'm at family get-togethers over Christmas and the old men are like, oh yeah, the NBA doesn't play defense. And I want to be like, oh yeah, they don't play defense? You know how hard it is to play defense in the NBA where there's defensive 3 seconds and everybody on the floor can shoot and Giannis is 6'11", 260 and can dribble. You know what I mean? So it's harder than what people think. Probably not your viewers because they know ball, but I thought it was solid from Ron Holland. He has a little bit of the Jaden Ivey where he gets a little bit lost off the ball at times. Here's what I'm worried about with Ron. We can't expect him to be a SAR. A SAR is special on the defensive end, and I'm worried that Ron is always going to get compared to a SAR, and I don't think it's realistic to think you're going to get 2 of the guys that are, because here's where a SAR is going to be really special. He's going to be disruptive, Jack, and he's going to be solid, like guarding Brunson at the point of attack, especially when he gets the foul trouble under control. I don't think Ron's going to be as good just like sitting down and guarding people. He's going to have disruption. He's going to pick up full court. He'll jump a passing lane, but I don't think he's going to be as quote unquote solid when
Yeah.
the fundamental point of attack things that some of the best defenders in the league are.
No, and I think the underrated thing with the Thompson twins and getting a chance to see Asar up close is like they are strong.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
they are
yeah.
not these wiry. They are wire. They move like a wiry athlete, like a Derek Jones Jr. But they are strong. Like Asar's calves.
Yeah.
I've always feel weird talking about it, but I was like, this kid is like just strong all through, and then that's what makes them so special is they're strong. They can move all over the place, and I think Ron can obviously add size, but even just the way Ron moves, there's just levels to this where Ron, I
Yeah.
think, is decent to good athlete. But the Thompson twins, it's what makes them like the Thompson twins. They
I
are in
mean,
material of their own.
a min, I think what we always say, a min is like a top 3 athlete in the NBA,
Yeah.
and Asar is a top, 1% to 2, whatever. Like
Yeah.
they're right there. Ron is, like you say, a really good NBA athlete. He's not that. Like they're even in a world of elite athletes, Asar and Amin are kind of a cut above compared to what Ron is. And that's no knock on Ron. Now, the thing I always get reminded by Omari and Wes is Ron is actually bigger than Asar in terms of like height and stuff like that. I never think of it that way because I think because Asar is a little bit bigger and maybe plays bigger, but Ron really can offer versatility defensively because of that size. He could really potentially guard maybe 1 through 4 if he's able to put on a little bit of strength and weight to hold up against those bigger type players.
Absolutely. And I think this takes us to like his role for the season. Like, I think one of the things with Ron that's for me so intriguing is like he has that mindset mentality, I could see him being a 20-point per game scorer in the
Sure.
NBA. I can see it. I can see it. Like, but I'm not saying there's not a lot that needs to be developed for him to get there, but the aggressiveness he plays with, like I know the G League Ignite tape and all of that was like it was a mess, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
and you would know that way better than I
Some
do.
of the
But
worst film to evaluate over the last few years. Like just
but
here, like at the end of the day, here's what's crazy. Like they drafted Asar Thompson. OTE was awful film to try to evaluate, and then they drafted Ron Holland when G League Ignite film was awful to evaluate.
I didn't even think of that just
Yeah,
from a business point of view. But I feel like Ron has always been a guy that likes to score the ball. Whether
yeah,
he's done it in the most efficient way or not, it's always been like that's one of the things that intrigues me so much. And we talk about Jaden. I've been that second scorer on the team, and Ron's probably further away from that with what we've seen to date. But we saw at Summer League, like just some of those coming off a screen, pull up in the mid range. I think he had to pull up 3. Like the flashes, it's intriguing. But what kind of role do you see him having this year? And do you think we see a bit more of that offensive game in spots?
I think it's a great point, Jack, because if I mean, to me, it's J.I. or Ron. If there's a number 2 offensive option, now some people may argue that Asar is the second best player on this team, when they're like title contenders. I won't disagree with you, but I don't think Asar is ever the number 2 offensive option. If there are going to be that guy on the current roster, it's got to be J.I. or Ron, in my opinion. Ron, again, back to Delta, I think he has a bigger Delta than J.I. because I think the lower end outcome is lower. But I mean, the comp I gave, I was so scared to ever say it. I was saying Jaylen Brown. Like, that is the idea of what Ron Holland, that is the highest of high ceiling outcome for Ron Holland, is a Jaylen Brown archetype of player. To your question, I don't think we see that this year. Where we may see it is in second units. Do they let him be the number 2 offensive option off of JI in second units for 12 minutes a game? And if we see that jump where he jumps into double figures, that will keep me intrigued with Ron Holland of, okay, he went from 6, I think this last year. He jumps to 11. Okay, now we're going to give him even more. He's going to jump to 16. And then it jumps a little bit more. I think that's the progression we'll have to see from Ron.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like, I think just with Ron, do you think now that we've had a full season to reflect on it, do you think, obviously no one expected the Pistons to win 44 games last season and be as close as they were to the Knicks in that playoff series, do you think Ron almost came into like a very ideal situation for him to develop? Because I think I could see a world where if Ron came on the team the season before and
Oh,
had a longer leash, like,
no,
and I'm not trying to put Ron down, but I just think that
no, yeah.
he has a really good shot to get to that second scorer. Like I feel like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a great
developmentally.
point. That's a great point, Jack. I actually hadn't thought about that in hit for him specifically. I said something recently on Game Theory that somebody tweeted at me. I said, when you put a player in a role bigger than what you're ready for, you almost find out less about them than you would otherwise. I feel like we could say that about a lot of the Pistons players over the previous 4 seasons. And that's what you're saying here. If Ron comes into a different environment and he's like, hey, Ron, go be the number 2 option on this team. He
Yeah.
may average 15, but it's going to be inefficient and he's probably not playing defense and learning lessons and all of that. I think maybe he did fall into the right situation. You got to remember, Ron Holland is very, very young as well. He was young in that draft, even as a one and done guy. So I think it's a great point. I think he did fall into a good scenario. And right now, to me, Detroit has a 9-player rotation, in my opinion, as things sit when we record this, which means his minutes per game, his usage, his role is going to go up if they only play that 9. Now, what's interesting, I want to get your thoughts on this, Jack. I wonder how much he plays at the 4. Because to me, right now,
I was going to ask you this.
yeah, okay. Because
I'm so confused too.
I'm a little confused too.
Yeah.
But my only answer is that they plan on Asar and Ron doing it. Is that your answer as well?
I think so. And let me get your thoughts on this as well. So I think Ron's going to play probably more backup for than Asar. And one reason, and this is where I might be completely wrong, the only reason I don't like Asar playing backup 4, and when you're relying on him as maybe your second biggest player on the court, is like, I want him up on the perimeter at the point of attack. And maybe you can do that schematically with him still playing backup 4, but that's kind of why I want Asar almost exclusively at the 3. But and why I'm leaning towards Asar playing more at the 4. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong there. But that's kind of how I see it. Ron playing more backup 4, but they will both play minutes there.
Jack, we're in lockstep on that one. It's always been my pushback when people pencil Asar in as the 4 long term, is I'm okay with it. I think they would rebound fine, all of that. My biggest worry is I don't want him getting pigeonholed into having to guard the other team's 4-man. I want him to be able to go guard anybody that they want on the roster, which there's ways around it, right? If you have maybe you hide Cade on the other team's 4-man if they're not that good. But it's like, okay, when you come up against the Cavs, if Asar's your 4-man, I don't want him on Mobley. I want him on Mitchell or Garland. And I know that's a very specific team. Or what if the Knicks go big? I was listening to James Edwards III on The Athletic. He predicted that potentially the Knicks could go Cat and Mitchell Robinson in the starting lineup. Well, now I have to put Asar on Cat. I want him to go guard Jalen Brunson. You know what I mean? So I'm with you on that. And because of that, I do wonder if we do see Ron. This is where I think I undervalue and underestimate Ron's size, where he probably can do it, especially in a second unit.
No, for sure. And just because I think the thing with Asar is because he can play so many different roles defensively, it's almost like, yeah, I can see him at the backup 4 getting some rebounds, but it's like, I just watching him when he got back to full fitness and like how he just is an absolute terror on the ball. Like I want that guy on the ball at the top of the key as much as possible. But I think we've kind of covered Ron. I guess where we'll put a bow on it, and we spoke about some areas for improvement. But what's the one part of his game that you want to see improve next season?
Yep, the scoring. So I did my stats prediction, and I said he, along with Ivy, are the players where the jump in scoring is probably the biggest thing I am looking for with them. So like, I'll just like to spot like Jalen Duren. I didn't really have a jump in scoring, or like it was like okay, consistent defense. Isaiah Stewart, a lot of his numbers stayed the same. We'll talk about Tobias Harris in a second. I really think because of what we've talked about with like this number 2 option or number 3 option, whatever. So I predicted Holland at 10 points a game, and the 3-point percentage getting over 30%. And I think that would be a nice jump forward from year 1 to year 2, where then maybe you can start to project out what his role is for this team moving forward.
I love that. I think if he's over 30%, that's a really nice step forward, because I think the thing at the summer league was he started off the first game really hot and the percentages kind of did dip as the summer league went on. But do you think, I don't know if you've had a chance to look in this, or maybe I recall you and Sam talking about it, but is shooting at summer league translatable?
It's the least translatable.
Okay.
This isn't my stuff. I wish I could shout out whoever does it on Twitter, but it was like field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, all of that stuff. Now, I believe, Jack, that was for rookies at Summer League.
Okay.
In their rookie, like they were looking at the relationship between a rookie at Summer League and their rookie season. I don't know that that included guys like Ron and, guys in their second, third years, but that was one of like the lowest like translatable relationships, whatever, between Summer League shooting percentages and then what they did in their rookie year.
Damn, I was hoping to finish on a positive there, because I was like, I'm sure it was the most translatable, but obviously I got that backwards. But look, I think it's undeniable that there was pretty clear growth from end of regular season at the Summer League. So
I agree.
I think we're both very, very excited for year 2 of Ron Holland. That's going to do it, my friend. Appreciate you so much joining. I read it off the top, and we're going to have all the links in the description, but please tell everyone where they can find you and all the awesome work you do covering the Pistons and NBA and the draft. Yeah,
thanks. Motor City Hoops on Twitter, on BlueSky. Guys, go check out the Substack, motorcityhoops.substack.com. It's completely free over there. I never plan on making it anything other than free. I have raw notes. I have video breakdowns. I have some other contributors that pop in from time to time and provide content just, again, for free because they want to write about or talk about the Pistons. So just give it a subscribe and check it out. There won't be a lot of content until games start up again. And then the Pistons Pulse podcast, with my guy Omari Sankofa II, Wes Davenport. He's also doing the Pin Down Detroit Bad Boys YouTube channel. Got to give them a shout out. Got to give Koo a shout out. He does great work as well. And then if you want general NBA draft, Game Theory podcast with my guy Sam Vecini.
I love it. Check it all out, guys. Substack's awesome. I recently subscribed up to that. So
appreciate
get amongst it, guys. Thank you so much again, Bryce. Excited for this Pistons season. But until next time, as always, go Pistons.